Yeah, I just took all the screws out of there, so you can see this is just a thin hardy backer, hardy board siding. This is like concrete board siding, and I just cut that, which is the same stuff that's on the side of my house here. I had some extras left over, so I just made that for the cover. You can see that I've cut this white sleeve off, and inside I've got the two different kinds of tubing here coming out, plus the electrical wire coming down, and then there's the condensate hose in the back here that is now converted to just plain PVC. These are much easier to handle when they're out of this big plastic tube. I coiled them up individually to get them to fit inside of here, and I think I found it was easiest to start with this big gray one and coil that up inside here, and then come in and put the skinnier one in afterwards, and then line them up down here, and then I'd put that sleeve back on just so it's got protection from this part where it's out in the open. And I checked with Mr. Cool, and they said that was cool. It was cool to do it that way. They said that's just for protection from the elements when you have it coiled up on the wall like this outdoors, which is how they suggest you install it. I wanted it to look a lot neater, so I put it inside this nice little box, and you can see it's just got this box about 15 inches by 3 foot. I made the boxes different sizes for each house that I did, so it really depends on the space and where you're going to go with it. And I wanted to move it over here, so I made it a little bit longer and narrower, just kind of adjusted it. And I just stapled these boxes, stapled and glued them together. Pretty simple box construction. I just have a pneumatic stapler and just chop, put them all together. And got this channel from a supply house. I think you can also order it on Amazon, but Jensko gave it to me locally here. Relatively pricey. It's got the hood at the top, and the tricky part, where you come out here, you'll bring those tubes that come out the hole in the wall to bend it to come down. This is the only big angle. As you can see, these are all nice big sweeping gentle angles, but that's a pretty tight angle. You've got to bend it at a 90 degrees where it comes out of there. So it took like a one inch piece of pipe, a little short stubby piece, and put it underneath of that and kind of bent it over that 1 inch pipe, so that gave it some support. And you're bending it over a curve instead of on a straight corner, right? If you're bending it on a straight corner, then it's easier for it to kink. But if you're bending it around a curve that's big around, it's a lot easier to kink. So it can't kink, but if it's a straight corner, it's really easy to kink. So that helped a lot. And then having this in, and then as you can see, I zip tied these lines together to get them to stay in place so I could put the lid on, and it worked really nice. And I was able to do like a couple of these a day with me and 1 or 2 other people. So they're real easy. They're a really good deal. They work really well. We're really happy with it. And I'll just take you inside here so you can see we're just right on the other side of the wall. Here is the unit, and there it is, and the tubes go right out the back and down. It's nice. It's lit up there with the temperature again. It's running inside here. It's blowing air on me right now, and it's it's entirely silent. My neighborhood is not. That's a big busy highway out front, but there you go. Real quiet, really quiet. Heats the place up nice. And now positioning these is important. And I've got this blowing the air all the way across the house here, and you can see the stairwell is right in the path. So here's the path of the air. It's going right across this stairwell, and then it goes up the stairs and heats the upstairs as well. See, like the air goes and it goes up. And so it's good to pick out where you're going to place this thing so that you get the best flow through for the air. And again, I bought these from Ingrams Water and Air, ingramswaterair.com, and they were like $14.50. Puget Sound Energy had a great rebate program, $1,200. So if you want to put these in your house, you can do it for a really low price. You know, it cost me very, very little, and I got wonderful heating and air, and I got it for all my tenants. I put them in 7 houses, so all of my tenants have heating and air conditioning, and for the first time ever, air conditioning. So that's been a real treat. The power bills are way lower. Power consumption is way lower with these things. They're about 1/3 of what they were paying with electricity, with electric heating and electric baseboards and electric forced air, all those different things. Really expensive. These are really cheap, plus you get the air conditioning. I can tell you how nice it is when it's really hot out and you come in here and it's the cool, and that's the first time I've ever experienced that, where it's just, it's nice and cool inside. So, yeah, worked really good. Got these, they're Mr. Cool again. These DIY units. This is a 24K unit. This house here is heating 1,500 square feet. It heats and cools the whole place very nicely. I've been real happy with it, and you know, I've got the forced air furnace here, and I sometimes use that as a fan. I just turn it on fan mode and just let it circulate the air around. It helps. Heating, it doesn't need it, but the cooling, I found that the cooling, to get the cold air to go upstairs, it helps to have that fan circulate it for a little bit here and there. Just turn it on every, you know, you could even set it on a timer to turn on for 15 minutes every hour or something, and just circulate the air around to keep it all distributed and cool.